burnout can be chronic, right? It can be very subversive where you're not realizing it's even happening consciously.
Yeah.
So I think another question to ask yourself and to gut check is, do you even know why you're doing the things you're doing day to day?
If you are maybe not sleeping well, maybe sleeping a lot, if there's any type of resentment that you're having towards the work that you typically like, those are all signs that this might be burnout, and you might want to get serious about being proactive in this moment so that you don't lead down a spiral.
That's the thing, because if you can proactively notice throughout your day to day when you're doing things that drain your energy, you will ideally slow the draining of your battery. Know that we live in a day and age where you can probably find some sort of AI agent or human being to do the task for you to 80% completion, and you can fix the other 20%. Like, at least that's a win.
Welcome back to Not Nice Clever. Today we're talking about burnout, the kind that doesn't just make you tired, but makes you question everything. Kat just had one of those moments, and instead of hiding it, we wanted to bring it here because burnout isn't a sign of weakness. It's a signal that something in your business, your brand, or your life is out of alignment. And in this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on what burnout actually feels like, why it happens, and how to come back from it without burning your whole business to the ground. If you've ever hit that wall, or if you're scared you're heading toward it, this one's for you.
Build in public, as they say, right? So we are sharing in public with the Clever Crew what I have been going through. This is super timely. This was on our heart. And you guys know we always record only when we're feeling it. We had another topic picked out for this episode, but we're like, no. What's actually on our mind? So yes.
What's actually going on right now? Yeah.
What's going on, right? So I'm just coming back from being sick for about 10 days, and I'm not a great sick person, according to Will. I think I'm okay. But it did take me 4 days to go to the doctor, so there's that. And I really was reflecting a lot during this because there's not really much you can do when you're sick and you're lying on the couch contemplating all of your life decisions that led to this moment. And I'm going to take some full ownership. And I'm very aware that when I got sick and when I hit that wall, I definitely contributed to that situation. It wasn't just like, oh, I got exposed to somebody who was sick, or I hadn't been traveling, hadn't been around anybody that was sick. It's not really that cold here in Philly. And I just know, I get sick every once in a while when I push myself too far. And that's exactly what happened. So
here we are, but you are feeling better and things are changing on your end. So that's great. What do you think now that you're on the other side of it and you can have the space to reflect? What do you think are a few of the things that contributed to you getting to burnout? Because isn't it funny that it's something that we talk about all the time?
Yeah.
It's something that we warn people about.
Yep.
And yet we're both still susceptible to it at times.
Yeah. Nobody is immune to the things that make you human, Right. I had said on another podcast that imposter syndrome is a human thing. It's not just only some people experience it, right?
Right.
Burnout's a human thing. I don't care how big your brand is, how much money you have in your bank account, whatever it is, you are susceptible to burnout if you aren't paying attention. And I think there were moments leading up to getting sick where I would be heading into a meeting or a client session, and I would just feel like my body kind of cave in on itself. I had nothing left to give. This is like trying to get blood from a stone. There's nothing good that is coming of the situation. And yet I still went to the meeting and I still delivered or I still said yes to the thing. And I think another reflection I have is that you need to realize anytime you're saying yes, you are saying no to something else. It is binary like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you saying no to when you say yes? And are you okay with saying no to that? If you're not, don't say yes. I think that was a big one.
You're saying no to yourself, but there's a reason that you felt like you had to continue to push through.
Yeah. Ego. thinking that if I just got one more thing done, or if I just got that done, or oh, that thing has been on my to-do list for months, like let me just knock it out, or oh, Will's working late and so I can work when he's not here, or the idea that resting and rotting on the couch is not productive, but it is because rest has ROI. And it's just all of these things of needing to work hard and to be busy in order to feel like I am contributing, like I'm doing it, like I'm proving it, right? But who the
Yes,
fuck am I
proving it.
proving it to?
I think that's
Oh,
a
wait, that's the
huge
answer you were
part.
looking for. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not the I don't know if it's the one that I was looking for, but I guess it's the one
Yeah.
that I feel like I resonate with most is
Yeah.
like proving that I am in this, proving that I'm
Right.
dedicated, proving that I'm a
I'm
hard
showing up.
worker.
I'm being
Yeah,
consistent.
right. And I think that's the thing. So I think also there's probably also some guilt associated with it. Like you don't want to let anyone down, so you
Yeah.
don't show up. But kind of unexpectedly, you can let people down
Yeah.
if you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And like that physical like symptoms, me feeling drained and me feeling like I had like nothing left to give. I wasn't creative. I couldn't write. And I love to write. I've been doing, you remember when we had Anne Handley on
Yeah.
a couple months ago and she talked about the 90-day writing challenge?
Yeah.
I did that. I have been doing that, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. I got sick right like as I was about to finish. It was like day 88 or 89. And I couldn't even write one sentence, Candace.
Wow.
And you guys know me, I can't shut up. I can't stop writing ever. So if Kat can't write, something's wrong,
Yeah.
Like something's
Yeah.
off. I think the other big thing to look out for too is if you start to resent the things that used to like bring you joy, like that's another thing I started noticing. I was like, why am I upset that I have to do this? I'm like, I get to do this. I'm so excited. I create my life and my business and our partnership and the podcast and like it's really cool what I get to
Mhm.
do. But now I'm saying like, ugh, I have to. And I'm like,
Mhm.
whoa.
I want to talk a little bit more about this idea that some people might be listening and saying, "Okay, but you're just sick, Cat." Like, what's
Mhm.
the difference between being sick or just being tired in general, and then
Mhm.
knowing that this is actually a burnout sesh for you? How do you know the
Yeah.
difference?
I mean, good question. I think getting sick for me was just a very dramatic expression of burning out, right?
Mhm.
Because if you are not excited and inspired, you're either neutral or you're very easily negative. And negative feelings and rumination and overthinking, it literally changes your body chemistry. And it's so easy for you to fall into that trap of looking for the negative, comparing yourself, thinking you're falling short. And the more negative you are, the more like farther down you drag yourself. And
Mhm.
then if you're physically exhausted, like you get sick, yes, maybe when you're exposed to something, but also when you have weakened yourself. Like I was
Mhm.
weakening myself. I was doing it. And that's why it's like, damn, but it's a good thing to realize that if you're experiencing burnout, likely you are contributing in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, I don't have, little kids that I have to deal with or family that I take care of. Like, and so I empathize with people in those situations. Or Candace, like, your baby at home.
Yeah.
Other things can contribute to burnout, but know that in some way, shape, or form, you are also contributing to it. So that and then that means that you can also do something differently within your
Yeah.
power to help.
Yeah. You have the ability to make decisions that help you stay away from burnout. So
Yeah,
it can happen. It happens to the best of us. But
it
what
does.
are a few things that now, looking back, you realize that you were doing that you would do differently in the future?
So I think not micromanaging every aspect of my business and of my day to day. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm looking at you or talking to you micromanagers and recovering perfectionists, right?
Mhm.
We have an
Yeah.
amazing community of recovering people pleasers and recovering perfectionists here. And to notice when you're doing something, if that particular task or project gives you energy or takes away your energy. Even if it's something as innocuous as creating a calendar invite. Like, I don't know about you, Candace. I don't live to manage my calendar. I
Oh
really
my
don't.
god. And I just
She
put
just
that off
rolled her
my
eyes, guys,
plate.
for the you just,
Well,
like,
I just got it
listening.
off my plate because
Boom.
my calendar is such a mess. It's
It's a full-time job.
so many things, right? And like, how did I get 6 back-to-back meetings on this calendar? What did I do wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
I it was so bad that
Mhm.
I asked Chat to help me come up with some, I don't know, barriers that prevent some of that, but then I also
Yep.
just, finally gave it to my assistant who I've had for 3 years, and I should have trusted her with it a long time ago, but it
Yeah.
was one of those things that I felt like I had to do myself. I don't know why, but,
Yep.
finally gave it to her last month, and progress is being made. So it's nice
Progress
to
is
not
being
think
made.
about that. And sometimes it's nice to just send her a voice note and say like, "Hey, do this." And I don't have to
Yeah.
technically do it or stop whatever I'm doing to do it.
Right.
And that has been amazing. So
I
that's
love a
a
good voice
little
note
calendar
delegate.
aside.
Yes. So that's the thing, because if you can proactively notice throughout your day-to-day when you're doing things that drain your energy, you will ideally, you know, slow the draining of your battery before it gets to, like, low battery mode. Like, that was a joke that I had said after we got back from Sell at 25 in Orlando. I'm on low battery mode. I'm on
Mhm.
11%, I'm the
Yeah.
yellow,
Yeah.
right? It is yellow. It is a yellow flag right now. So just doing that in your day to day, notice
Mhm.
what it is and know that we live in a day and age where you can probably find some sort of AI agent or human being to do the task for you to 80% completion, and you can fix the other 20%. Like, at least
Yes.
that's a win, rather than you doing 100% of it and then it, like, knocking down your internal battery 5% every single time you do that task that just kills your vibe,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So look for it sounds like we're talking about looking for the mundane tasks that
Yep.
we are still gripping onto, even though we know someone else could do them, which
Right.
is really scary for you sometimes if you're a new business owner because you feel nervous to make an investment. But with
Yeah.
AI now, there's so many opportunities to just figure out a program that can help you or, an AI assistant or
Mhm.
some way that you can build systems that will allow, for better flow in your business. So when I first started with AI, like it gave me parameters to use in my Calendly that
Mhm.
were really helpful. So like just small things like I had to like click a box that said don't no more than 3 of these meetings per day.
I
Okay,
love that
cool. Like,
box.
like that's one of my favorite boxes. So,
Right.
it goes by meeting type, right? So maybe I'll take 10 consultations a day, but I'm only taking 3 client sessions a day because
Right.
they're different
Different
energies, right?
energy exchange
Yes.
in those and prep required
Yes,
and
exactly. And so
totally.
using AI to help me figure out how to use the tools I already have
Mhm.
better.
I think another reflection that I had this time around was that my burnout came from that overworking, right? The trying to do everything rather than trusting my team to support me. In the past, and this might be true for somebody listening in, I have been burnt out by the people around me because our values were out of alignment. So
Mm,
that's another sneaky thing that can cause burnout, right? Because your values are the operating code by which you make yes or no decisions. It's like the ACTG of your DNA. Your values are that for your decisions. Of course, I
mhm.
have to throw in a science analogy
Mm,
at some point. And in the past, I would be burnt out by people who didn't align with my values because they would say something. They would be like, I would ask them a question, right? I'd be really excited about something. And then they would say, well, that's never going to work. And I would just be like, ugh, come on, Sandra. Like, why are you killing my vibe? Like, why say that? Why? And then I
yeah.
realized, oh, I value personal growth and creativity. That's why I think, ooh, let's find the solution. Let's figure it out. How can we do it? Who do we know that can help us? Right? Sandra did not value personal growth and creativity.
I'm sorry for all the Sandras in the audience right now. I don't take it
If you're a
personally.
Sandra
It's not you,
listening to
I'm
this,
sure.
your values align with us because you're part of
Yes.
the Clever Crew. So this is not you, Sandra. I'm tired of people saying Karen because that was my aunt's name and I loved my aunt very much. And I'm like, to rebrand the name Karen. Sorry, Sandra. Um, So I don't know, like, Candace, have you ever felt burnt out by
Yeah,
people, like, where they
definitely,
just say
like,
something and you're like, "Ugh," you know?
I've definitely felt burnt out in a work environment before when I was no longer aligned with the mission,
Ooh,
and
that's a big one too.
yeah, and I did not have the same, like, I don't know, value for this sounds terrible, but, like, I don't think I have to work all day long, like, hard work, like, I do
Hard
hard
work or
work, but
effective
not for
work?
24 hours a day because
Yeah.
I work hard so I can live well, right?
Mm.
And I don't subscribe to that when some people wear that as a badge of honor that they, worked for 14 hours a day. Like, that sounds terrible to me.
Yeah.
And I do recognize that there were periods in my life when I had to do this to ramp up to a certain thing. And
You
I
make
would accept a
sacrifices.
season of that. Yes, exactly. But
Yeah.
that's not how I want my life to be forever.
Mhm.
And so there was definitely times when I was in the wrong situation because my I was no longer aligned with the organization's mission and I wasn't aligned with the way they wanted to work. And that was a sign for me, a signal to make different decisions. Because if I wasn't going to be able to change everyone's mind and change the mission of the organization.
Mhm.
So that means I needed to find a new place for myself.
Yeah. I think another really sneaky thing to look out for to proactively, like, not end up in the situation that I did. Obviously, I don't, not that you're gonna get sick every time you get burnt out. Burnout can be chronic, right? It can be very subversive where you're not realizing it's even happening consciously.
Yeah.
So I think another question to ask yourself and to gut check is, do you even know why you're doing the things you're doing day to day?
Hmm.
For me, the way that I operate, I need to know why. And not everybody is like that. But a lot of high performers, a lot of entrepreneurs that I have met, they're like, make it make sense and then I'll say yes. Right.
Hmm.
And so it goes back to your point, Candace, earlier of like, why are you even doing this? Like, what is it for? What's the larger purpose?
Hmm.
Because if you don't have a purpose, then what's the point? You're just wasting your time, no matter how many hours. You're just wasting more hours, actually. And there's no glory. There's no glory in that.
Yeah.
So ask yourself why.
So,
And
just to recap a few of the things, Kat,
yeah,
we're talking about if you're feeling like you have some emotional exhaustion, maybe
hmm,
you're snapping at your loved ones, you
just a
just feel
little.
like you don't have time for the things that you normally care about. If
Yeah.
you are maybe not sleeping well, maybe sleeping a lot, just
Or like you
abnormal
can't
sleep.
fall asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like you're
like any of
overthinking
those
so much.
things. Yes.
Hmm.
If you have a creative block, you feel like you
Hmm.
can't write anymore, you feel like you can't, make videos anymore, you feel like you're just
You can't even pick up the phone.
you don't
Like you
wanna
didn't.
talk to anyone, even to the people you're typically excited to talk to. If there's any type of resentment that you're having towards the work that you typically like, those are
Hmm.
all signs that this might be burnout, and you might want to get serious about being proactive in this moment so that you don't
Hmm.
lead down a spiral.
Yeah.
And there are things that you can do ahead of burnout when you begin to feel it so that it doesn't last as long. And a lot of times people don't want to take some time off
Hmm.
because they think they're going to lose out. But like, Kat, if you would have taken 2, 3 days for yourself, that would have been better than the 10 days that you
That's 10
lost
days.
because, yeah,
Yeah. It's
right?
like being penny wise and pound foolish.
Right. And 2 or 3 days of rest or couch rot or just getting clear on what's bothering you, right?
Yeah.
What's feeling off might
Hmm.
have been the antidote to this. Maybe.
Yeah. It definitely would have at least given me enough space to reflect in the moment, which is so valuable rather than just saying, "Oh, well, hindsight is 2020." It's like, "No, you can pause. You can take 5 seconds and to just breathe and check in with yourself, you know?"
But I get that. I've definitely done this before where like I didn't want to let people down, so I didn't convey that and
Yeah.
then probably let them down more because I couldn't, deliver even though I said I was going to, or even though I just didn't communicate well. And I want to be better
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. And I think the kind of like thought that I'll leave the Clever crew with is, and this was inspired by a client who I was talking with. We're working on like an article right now for her 25th anniversary reveal and rebrand and all this. And she had said something where she said, how can you expect clients to believe you can protect their value, the value of their home, right? She's a real estate broker, if you can't even protect your own value as an individual. And I was like, ooh, we're using that line in the article. And also, how can you expect somebody to trust that you can take care of them if you can't take care of yourself?
Hmm.
And so start there, start within, and, use the tips we mentioned here. And the last one I'll use is also don't look at your phone the moment you wake up. Just take 15 minutes for
That's huge.
yourself.
Yes.
It is That's probably the single most important thing I do every morning, like the most important part of my morning routine. I don't even look at it for an hour actually after I wake up.
That's incredible. I need to get on that because I look at it and then I stress out with all the things I have to do because
Right.
everyone sent me all the things that they need from me. And
Right.
I feel like I need to do
And then
it
you're already
right
like getting
away.
things taken from
I feel
you.
like I'm
Yeah.
behind because it's not
Yeah.
in my calendar yet.
Talk to my assistant, okay, to
Yeah,
get on my calendar.
exactly. Clever crew, we hope that this episode reminded you that we are all human, that we still at times are susceptible to burnout and imposter syndrome, just like you. And we hope you got a few tools that you can use so the next time you are feeling this way, you can help pull yourself out of that. We're here for you. Thanks for joining us on Not Nice, Clever.
Remember to follow Not Nice Clever wherever you listen to audio.
And if you haven't already, drop that 5-star review.
Share your takeaways, tell us your story. We love to hear it.
Signing off, you're not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.